education is what is causing this problem. The book education is dead. It's not about giving fines, it's not about confiscation. Let me explain to you why. It's not just about scooters. Life is not just about scooters, not about cycling, not about PMDs or people like that. Hi guys, welcome to today's vlog. Now in today's vlog, we are going to continue talking about the LTA ruling, regulation on the e-scooter, cyclist and everything, alright? So we're going to talk about that topic as a whole and what is really happening. Now if you haven't seen our previous vlogs, please go watch those vlogs before you come down here. The ones which talk about the reality of what is happening, what is being published on the newspaper and what is really happening as a scooterist or a cyclist, you know, on the pavement, what really is happening, and people being in the category of not even knowing what's around them. Like they are just not aware of their surroundings. In the second vlog, we actually covered on the speed limit as well as the weight limit, why it's impractical and actually how it makes it more dangerous having to follow this speed limit or the weight limit, alright? And my opinion on why this speed limit and weight limit is actually being implemented. Now in today's vlog, we are going to continue talking a bit more on something which is of a lighter matter. Now the question then is this. I know many a times we ourselves, we like to complain. We like to say, you are doing this wrongly, you're doing that wrongly, this is ridiculous, this is stupid, blah 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 blah. But then the question comes to whether we ourselves have a solution. If we don't have a solution for things, or we don't have a better solution, then why are we even complaining? If we don't even have anything in our minds, we're just wanting to complain, then I think we should stop complaining. If I want to complain and I have no solution for something, I think I should stop complaining. Leave the people who can think to think. So in today's vlog, what we're going to talk about is the solution to all these problems. What do I think then is the proper solution to all these issues? I have here, this box explains what I'm trying to say. The two arrows down here pushing these two bars down here, pressurizing everything into the center. So this is where the Singaporeans are and how the law is compressing. We're not just talking about e-scooters, we're talking about everything else. Like even the taxes, 9% tax increase, we're talking about water increase, 30%. And electrical increase, I think it's like 1 point something percent. I can't really remember all the numbers or the digits here, but basically the whole country is being compressed. And in one of the latest news, the Prime Minister actually said that he wanted Singaporeans to learn to stretch the dollar, and many Singaporeans were once again very unhappy and angry because why? We are already stretching like crazy. We are stretching like nonsense already, and now you're asking us to stretch even more. So many Singaporeans are really unhappy about that. That's how this picture actually represents how we Singaporeans, or many of us Singaporeans, actually feel. We feel like we are in this block here and we're being compressed, okay? We're just being smashed up there, and the cross down there says enough of this, you know, we have to put a stop to this. We have to be logical and start to think. But then again, like I said, you know, it's easy for us to complain, but if we have no solution, then we should really stop complaining. So what I'm trying to say is, I believe that the solution to this whole problem is education. When I say education, don't stop the video here, right? Don't stop it here, don't close the video and say, oh nonsense, you know, education, come on, I hate school and the whole Singapore is educated. Are you trying to say that the ministers or the people, the panel who make these decisions are not educated? I'm not saying that. There are two forms of education. The first form is book education. One that is straightforward, one that is left and right, there's no center, and everything is so, it's dead. Either the bird is alive or the bird is dead. Then there is another one which is more of a social education, which some people may categorize as street smart, but I don't call it street smart because this is about awareness. It's not about being street smart in that sense. So it's an education of being alert socially, social. It's a kind of like interaction kind of thing, alright? Maybe you guys know the better word for that. If you do, leave it in the comments below. Let me know what is the correct term for this, alright? To be educated not in terms of the book. The book education is what is causing this problem. The book education is dead. It is assuming that people are traveling and, you know, there's no frictional force and anything else around. It's just, oh, you're 10 kilometers per hour, sliding on ice, yay, woo! But the reality is not that case. The reality is that we walk, we move, and there's people whom we horn and they don't even realize, they don't even notice. You know, it's not about us going fast. I can go 50 kilometers per hour or 100 kilometers per hour, but if people are aware, people will not get knocked down because they will avoid. And if you are wondering like, oh, this is nonsense, you're going so fast, you're quoting something so high, think about it. How many people get knocked down on the road? Let's talk about cars and motorcycles and buses. They are all traveling very quickly. Why don't they start banging each other like bumper cars? Oh, there you go! Because there is a social awareness. They are taught to be aware. They are taught to be aware that when you drive, you have to be careful, you stick to this lane. If you want to change lane, you have to check your side mirrors. And of course, accidents do happen because people forget to check. People have no money to change their signal light. They just don't turn on their signal lights for whatever reason, right? And you guys know these kind of problems that we face in Singapore all the time. So what I'm trying to say is that the solution is to educate in terms of the social behavior of people, which means to be alert of what is happening around us, educating them to be careful, to educate them that hey, there is danger around. And then of course there's a group of people whom the Singaporeans love to call YPs, which means the young punks. People whom know that, oh, I know I have to slow down, but I don't give a care about slowing down, alright? That is the group of people whom then the community will have to work together to educate, to really teach them how to do so. How do we teach them? And the problem is, again, because of the educated law. Can you see how the law is actually creating problems? The law puts it in such a way that you have no rights to go up to someone to educate them, to teach them. You cannot touch them. If you touch them, they fall down and they break their arms, especially nowadays. I don't know what generation, they call it strawberry or even tofu generation. Little bit they fall and then they sue each other. So the main thing I'm trying to say is that there has to be social education among people. How do we react with other people around? And I think this is the most important. It's not about educating about the law. It's not about giving fines. It's not about confiscation. Let me explain to you why. It's not just about scooters. Life is not just about scooters, not about cycling, not about Pmds or people like that. Do you notice that in the Singapore society, people are arguing over who stands in queue, how you stand in queue, fighting over whether the chicken rice comes fast or slow? And just that day I went to post office, and instead of asking nicely, the lady who went up to the post office assistant was like, pass me this form now, pass me this form now, I want this form, in a very demanding way. And the person didn't do anything wrong. Everybody were waiting very nicely in line and they were like, could you pass me a form please? Could I take a picture of my parcel please? But this lady came in and she was like, pass me the form now, I want the form now. Because people have lost the ability to remember how to socially interact with others. Everyone has followed the law to become pedestrians are right, e-scooterists are wrong. If a car hits a motorcycle, the motorcycle is at fault. Something like that. You guys get the general idea. People start to sort themselves in order. This makes it very difficult for reality to happen. And actually this became a problem. When a car hits a person, the driver is at fault. If you actually go onto Google or anywhere and search online, you realize that then the pedestrians actually ran towards cars and jump on the cars and pretend to get injured by cars. Without car cameras, people will really think that, oh, this car injured a person. You see, people try to play with the law because of the sorting. They think that, oh, if I fake that the car hits me, I will get compensation and I'll get money. Can you see what's happening? The law is there, but it is dead. It is assuming that people know, have the brains to know that I am standing there and the car hit me, therefore I ask for compensation. But no, that's not the case. People abuse it and people run to the car, jump on the car or hit themselves on a bike, fall back down and say, oh, you gotta compensate me because you injured me. That is the reality of what is happening now. Pedestrians these days, talk about it, e-scooterists, cyclists, you guys know. Instead of avoiding, they purposely stand there. They purposely stand in the middle. Why? They're hoping you hit them, because if you hit them, they get money. And why is this problem there? Does the law know that the problem is like that? The government or officials, do they know that this is the situation? I have no idea where they know that. But they just say, oh, the law is this way. But the law is dead. The real solution, not just in terms of PMDs, but in Singapore at large, the real solution for everyone is to be educated socially, to know how to interact with others, and to recorrect their mind that you and I, we don't have a status of who is higher or lower. It's not whether the car hit the human or whether the human hit the car. It's not whether the e-scooter went past and hit the pedestrian or the pedestrian ran towards the e-scooter. Each situation has to be decided on, not by laws, not by hierarchy, but by the situation itself. What really happened? Let me tell you a situation that happened very recently. I was on a road, 2-lane roads, a road with 2 lanes. One was a bus and one was a police car, and this guy was jaywalking across the road. He walked onto the first lane. Okay, this is the bus, this is the car, right? So the guy walked in this lane. So the bus slowed down for the person to cross. The person crossed and he saw the police car. So what did he do? He thought the police car was going fast. He stepped back into the bus lane. So when the police car saw that he stepped back, the police car increased speed. But the guy then later saw that the bus was also moving forward. So what did he do? He stepped back in the police car lane. The end result was this: he stepped forward and backwards, and at the final point, he stood there and he did this. He legitimately just stood there and put his arm like that. That is called having no brains. That is called konok, zero, kosong, zero, null. kosong. When the brain has nothing, they do not know how, they are not educated to interact socially. They do not know that, hey, when a car comes, what do I do? If I want to jaywalk, how do I avoid? They forgot. Why do they forget? Because everybody is trained from young to follow the law. Green light, red light, traffic light. Once the traffic light is gone, that's it, wiped out, gone. That's my opinion on what the problem is. The problem is we have lost our ability to think socially because we have been looking at the book, we have been looking at traffic lights, we have been following the law to the point we forget how to react to situations as it comes. There you go, that's how they use it on the road. Sharing the path together. There goes another guy there, woo! Just cutting across. It's just this road sense, guys. It's this road sense that people learn to share together and no accidents happen because people learn to share together. Like, they are well aware that people just cross the road and everything. They just rely on that, their senses more than just staring at a traffic light and blindly following the lights. So I think the solution to this whole thing is to educate people socially. But that can only happen when the whole society, or rather the lawmakers above or the people above, stop all this law talk and start to use their heart to reach out to people, to understand the situation, to really help people to realize over time that it is not the law that will help you, but the situation and what is really happening. How do we compromise? How do we react with each other? And when we know how to do this, we will travel on the road. The pedestrian will know, oh, there's an e-scooter person coming, there's a cyclist coming, there is a electrical bicycle coming, and they will know, let me step aside, let him cross first. Or the e-scooter person will go into the market area and say, hey, there are so many people, let me calm down first, I will just push the e-scooter through, so he'll not injure anyone at all. The whole issue that is happening now is that we have evolved to a point, because of education, because of laws, to forget how to react as humans do. I'm very sad to say that, sorry to say that. If you feel offended, I can't do anything about it. That's my personal opinion about it. You may hate me for it, you may agree, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. Always nice to understand different points of view, and I'm always going around asking people for their perception about things because it's really interesting to know from you guys. I can honestly say, through my experience, that it's not the speed, it's not the weight. It is the education of each person's social ability in being aware of the surroundings and being able to compromise. You have to know that you have no right of way, and the law has to stop trying to pretend that people are also honest and nice. People are playing with the system and they're trying to use the law to help them. Alright, not just in this, in many other issues. Before I end this vlog, the only one question that I have for whoever is watching this, e-scooterists, cyclists, pedestrians, maybe you're from LTA, maybe you're from the government, police force. The question that I have for myself and fellow Singaporeans or people who think that this relates to you is whether the government will take directions from now onwards to begin to educate people and help people to change. Like I said, if you don't train people to live socially right, you don't educate them in that area, it's not just about these PMDs. The problems will spread to everything else, from fights at chicken rice stores, fighting for parking lots and everything. Will they start to begin teaching properly, or will they continue to ignore that portion and continue using laws to restrain, to fine, to summon, and to get more money from people? I'm not sure which way they are gonna go. Maybe they'll do both. My opinion is that the laws cannot be blind. Laws cannot be dead. It has to understand the social interaction and the situation before you decide. With that, I thank you so much for joining me in these vlogs on my opinion of this whole PMD cyclist issue. I will have more vlogs on this, right? So please do like, subscribe, share it with your friends, let them know. Let me know in the comments below if you guys feel the same way, agree or disagree, or you think that more of something else should be done, and then we'll discuss about it. Alright, thank you so much once again. Stay cool, stay awesome, and be your best always. Bye!